All right, welcome to the Sushi Forum, where we discuss this week's news, proposals, and developments in the Sushi Swap ecosystem, accompanied by Tangle and Ryan Muir, as always. Thanks for coming out, everybody. So let's just hop straight into some of the news from this week. Sushi Swap has just launched on Arbitrum, which I think sort of a lot of things are going live on Arbitrum at the same time. And so that's going to be basically a roll up on Ethereum that will make the gas fees, instead of paying like $100 plus, on gas fees, you can pay like $10 to $5 on Arbitrum. And you can also start staking over there to earn some yield. I think they have Kashi incentives active as well.
Oh wow, I did not see that listed anywhere. I saw that Kashi is up, but I didn't know it was incentivized. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm joined the USDC link pool, I think. Joined that one last night. There was like, when it first got going, why I was interested in that one, it was like up to 1,000%, of course, but slowly, or well, just over a few hours, it decreased dramatically. But yeah, bridged over last night. The bridge went relatively smooth. I think maybe 20 minutes, if that. Yeah. I'm curious about Arbitrum. I really look forward to that one because it's like a long-term solution. I've always felt, because like all these other L2s, they could be cool, but at the end of the day, people are just going to want to stick around with the Ethereum ecosystem. Like the closer to Ethereum, maybe the better for a lot of people. I don't know. Especially when you take in like security risks and measures and other chains and other coins. But yeah, it's cool. There's lots of L2 stuff coming. It's impressive.
Sorry, go ahead. No, Orion. I said go ahead first.
I'm curious on how volume will translate over there. It seems like there's just so much composability and already like the infrastructure already in place where the volume on mainnet is so natural, even with these exorbitant gas prices, that to get it all flowing like that on Arbitrum, I feel like it's going to take a while, is my guess. But my guess is just that. So who knows? Great to see Sushi being one of the first movers, though. I mean, really the first mover I saw anywhere.
By the way, just to add some color here, we're gonna have Cryptofee.info integration for Arbitrum coming online actually tomorrow. So we're gonna be able to actually see now how much fees already generated. And for the last stat that I had, we did already 100K USD worth of volume in one day.
Arbitrum did the 100K?
Yep.
Beautiful.
How does I don't know if you have the numbers in your head to properly reference, but how does
Sorry, it was not 100K. I was that was misleading. We're talking about 700,000. Sorry.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, how does the liquidity migration to the Arbitrum roll up look compared to some of the liquidity migration to like the Polygon? Well, I guess Polygon's a little bit hard to compare, again, Polygon versus Arbitrum, but if you
Yes,
were,
Arbitrum is its own bridge for now. Like, there's not going to be any transfer of liquidity position per se, but potentially that's something we could explore later down the road. It's still like the beta for Arbitrum. I wouldn't recommend anyone to transfer like massive amount. I think it's kind of in test phase. I wouldn't do over like maybe, I don't know, $3,000 to $5,000 worth of tokens. And like whenever you want to exit from Arbitrum, I do believe the fast withdrawal are not enabled fully, so you need to be very cautious. But like in the future, like you could see like the migration tool page of Sushi actually migrate your liquidity from Sushi to also Sushi Arbitrum or kind of Polkadot or etc. Like that would be ideal.
yeah, that'd be great. I mean, I think I've brought this up before, but just like the one thing that sort of stands out to me is that we have all these different chains and networks that a Sushi is on. But if I wanted to actually get my assets onto one of these, I'd have to go someplace else and use the bridge over there.
Just to address the comment of there's no fast withdrawals for Arbitrum, I believe the seller bridge is up for Arbitrum for USDT possibly only, and that's pretty much that's a fast bridge exit to other layer twos and to mainnet itself.
Dude, how do you become an LP for that?
Oh, so you're saying you can go from Arbitrum to other side chains, not just mainnet?
That is my understanding. I mean, I was person with a naked doll on yourself. Can you mute your mic?
Benson at the top.
Benson, I'm gonna server mute you if it doesn't stop.
Yeah, just serve me them.
Boom.
Thank you.
Oh. Somebody else too.
I think just Joseph or J. Seth.
All right, I'll try and get them. You guys keep going.
But yes, I believe that is the case, that the seller bridge goes in all sorts of different directions. I was like going from Polygon to Avalanche, and I haven't tried Arbitrum yet, but it was on their list, so I think it goes in all sorts of directions.
Sweet. That's cool. Yeah, I'll check that out. That's whatever it was, like a week or something. That seemed like quite a long time, of course, especially with all the L2s around and all these opportunities available.
All right, so just to move on with some of the news that I got written down here. So we had an interview with Joseph DeLong that Sami ran, or Som Finance. I believe I know somebody called Sami, and I believe I've seen them in this community. But there's also this website called Som Finance,
I think there's like there's multiple of them. Like there's Somnifor, Somnilier, and Sami. Yeah, but I'm not positive on that. But I believe they're different people. It's a different person than the one that I've seen on the forum, which I think was Somnifor. But yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Well, if you want to listen to this interview, it's an hour long, 52 minutes long. It's pretty good. Talks about Trident, Bentobox, sort of the future horizon for sushi. Just look up SOMM Finance, all one word, and you can find it on their Twitter or Periscope. We got Shoyu coming. The website is live right now, shoyunft.com. I don't think we have a specific day that we're expecting it, right?
2 weeks was like the last thing that I saw cited pretty recently.
Maybe just some color here for show you. We're waiting for the metaverse. So Tango Studio quoted us 25 of September last time I spoke with them. So, but it's like everything else is kind of ready on our side. So it's kind of right now the only bottleneck, quote unquote.
I guess I was thinking of 2 weeks of the audit to be completed is actually what my mind was thinking of.
Gotcha. And for the maybe I hope I'm not out of the loop. What is this metaverse?
There's gonna be more details soon.
Okay. Okay. So it's some partnered project or something like that. Exciting. Okay. So yeah, 25th of September is the tentative day to look out. Moving on, we got Sushi paid out the $1 million bug bounty to Sam CZ. which was for the MISO vulnerability, which is good to pay that out. I mean, I think it's more of just like obviously it's $1 million. I'm sure that, affects Sam's life, but it's more of like a signal to the broader community that these types of bug bounties get paid out, which is pretty nice. We also have a new GHST a pool on Polygon, so you can stake over there and earn both MATIC and Sushi for staking your GHST. And sorry, I don't want to cut anybody off.
I just wanted to say we queued in the Onsen a few more pairs coming online in 2 days. So we're gonna have AGLD from the Loot project, which is kind of a new NFT thing. We have ID Everest, I believe. There's also Dog and NFT. So both kind of meme coins about Shiba and Doge communities and so on. We felt that would be a very fun experiment to have. Which Dog just raised like over, I think, implied market cap of over 200 million, which is amazing.
Every time those coins like show up, I'm just blown away by the volume. So I'm glad to see Sushi incorporating them into the mix.
Yeah, and as you just mentioned about Dog, which is so you're going to be adding a pair that you can stake in for the Dog token.
It's going to be on the Onsen.
On the Onsen, okay, gotcha. And yeah, as you mentioned, the MISO auction just completed yesterday or a few days ago. I think yesterday. I don't know. For a Dog, which raised 200 something million. Where is it? What the heck? I thought I had it.
There's also going to be a LUSD ETH pair coming online soon from the Liquidity, I think. I'm not too sure exactly. Project LQTY. And we're working with them right now to also have like a double reward program happening very soon.
With Liquidity, okay, gotcha. And would that be on Ethereum?
Yep, all on mainnet. By the way, I kind of I was seeing in the audience there was like some I think I saw Zeus from OlympusDAO potentially. I'm not too sure what is kind of the agenda for today. If we're going to be reviewing all of the forum proposal, but regardless, just wanted to say hi.
Yeah, we will definitely be getting to the OlympusDAO proposal. Just had there's one last announcements left. Just talking about the Onsen AMAs. We had the Onsen AMA yesterday that for Mask, or maybe it was put up on YouTube yesterday.
Tuesday, yeah, it was Tuesday. Was the AMA, and yeah, that was kind of neat because we did like a kind of an interactive activity during the AMA. So they ended up sending off these red packets, which are like tweets, I guess, that have messages that contain crypto. And yeah, it was all sent on MATIC, so you could just you claim it with your wallet, and if you had MATIC in your wallet, you could then use that for gas, and then you were able to claim these like bonuses. So it was kind of cool to just, during this whole thing, they're like, hey, we're sending out a red packet, click on this tweet and open it up and click on the red packet, and away you go. I ended up getting 2 masks. Like, that's cool. But a few other people got it as well. Just a cool little like incentive way of doing it, and it was cool to learn like what they've got going on and how it's not necessarily like peer-to-peer encryption, but just encryption across networks, so that when it comes to sensors or censored material or things that could be that a network may not approve of, it kind of masks over top of that. Kind of a neat idea.
Yeah, it's cool with the red envelopes, sort of.
Yeah. And then we've also got, with Olympus tomorrow, we've got an AMA with them first thing in the morning. or depending where you're at, I guess, afternoon, evening. 1500 UTC. I guess for UTC people, that's afternoon. We've got that happening. So excited to sit down with them. And like you said, we got Zeus, and who else is Wartall in here too today? I'm not sure. I'll have to look through the list, but they'll be on with us tomorrow. Looking forward to that, just to kind of check in and see how they've been doing. And then just a shout out to they're having a community appreciation night tomorrow. So maybe if you guys wanted to pop up and talk about that a little bit, if Zeus, if you're in here, Zeus, Wartall, I don't know if you're in here as well. Zeus.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, sweet. So that's at 2100 UTC tomorrow?
I believe so. Let me confirm.
Yeah, it sounds like a bunch of speakers and some prizes and a bunch of things like that, hey?
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, cool. So anybody that's here, if you're available tomorrow at the same time, let's head over there and check out what they got going on. Try and do some of these community events over the coming weeks. We're gonna try and tie a few things together here with different communities and different events and parties and things. So this will be really cool. And also to spin off of that with another party here, just to touch on the Pixel party that happened was Friday, was it? Yeah, Friday, I think, was the Sushi birthday Pixel party. And I know there's been a lot of turmoil about that as we shut it down after 3.5 hours or 4 hours or whatever it was. And that thing was absolutely amazing the way it was looking, and didn't expect it to fill up nearly as fast. That's why originally it was allocated for 48 hours. Our first one, I didn't know how much engagement we'd have. Blew me away. After like an hour, we started the call, and it was already like quite full, and just watched this thing blossom into what it is. So, of course, a lot of people in particularly the Asia time zones woke up and found out this party to be over, and we're quite upset about it. So we are looking to, and I've made announcements about this, we will be making another Pixel party. POAP will put that on. What'll happen is it'll be time-based, again, same thing, and depending on which POAPs you have, it will actually help reduce your time all the way down to 1 second. So if you've got the birthday POAP, and if you have what we're going to call the Save Sushi POAP for the Save Sushi Pixel party, between those two, those will be like major time reducers. And then and so anybody that's been a part of the sushi server prior to August 28th or 27th, whichever day it was there, losing track of time, they will have the Happy Birthday POAP, and then the Save Sushi POAP will be available in the next few days. So anybody that joins the server between now and then will be able to and before, we'll be able to have the Save Sushi POAP, and between those two, that's going to significantly reduce your time to paint. And then we're going to use POAPs from other communities as well. So not only the sushi community, but also like several other communities, and we'll make a big list of who's all involved and which POAPs are going to work. So if you've coming in from, like for Olympus that's here today with us, like any of that community that has POAPs, if that's a part of the list, it's going to go towards your time reduction. So it's going to be this really cool new synergy to bring in more communities for a cooler party. We're looking at doing between 5 to 10 p.m. CST or HKT. So I don't know what that is in UTC. I should figure that out. And then we're going to do, it looks like 6 hours, and it looks like 1024 by 1024 canvas. So there's a poll going on in the calendar channel right now. Please go vote to see what, just so we can figure out what is the best time for all this and how this should all work. But those are the parameters we have right now. And 6 hours and away we go. One other thing I wanted to kind of speak about too, and just maybe get some feedback from everybody, and we don't have to go through it all right now, but just you can think about this. There was concerns of bots that were taking over or going to take over. And the thought behind there, a little strategy towards this, is perhaps anybody that's if we see bot behavior, perhaps we you can see what that wallet address is. Everybody that paints, you can see which wallet address it is. And I'm just wondering if we flag bot activity and then and then this way they need to like interact with the community and say, hey, yes, I'm using a bot. Here's what I'm looking to do. Please, like, hopefully you don't shut me down, something like that. Because if it's just a bot that's coming in and just like walking away, I don't know if that's really what we want for proper engagement. And perhaps we should look at like maybe blacklisting that wallet from getting like the special NFT airdrop. I would love to hear some feedback on that, or if that's maybe too crazy, or if that seems reasonable, or whatever.
Is it possible to blacklist addresses from interacting?
Yeah, so I've got the list from the last one. I haven't looked through it yet, but I was sent the list of anybody that painted 100 pixels or more. And that way, that list is like what we'll use for airdropping the NFT when that becomes available here through Shoyu. Is kind of the game plan. And then if that, obviously all these addresses are going to be a part of that, but if we can flag, like, so I can see when there's bot activity, like especially in the last one, it was like driving over some like really good stuff that people had worked on, and I was just sitting there front running the bot, changing the colors as it was coming through. And then you can see the wallet address of each pixel that's been painted. So that's a possibility to do that, and we can figure it out from there. But just wanted to get some feedback on that, if that makes sense, or if that's maybe don't worry about it, or however.
Well, the one thing is that, I mean, it would work in terms of not delivering the finished NFT to them as a participant, but they could also just make new wallets and swap to that to continue the bot.
Yeah, I'm just thinking through, just kind of spitballing to see if there's anything we can do for, avoiding that, or try and have, human.
I don't know. I mean,
participation.
it didn't seem to be a fatal flaw in the first pixel party.
Yeah, and that's maybe
guess,
maybe it's not a big deal, and that's why I just wanted
not
to
a big
ask
deal
everyone.
Until it is, I guess.
Yeah, and that's why I just wanted to ask, like, if there was any input on that, if somebody's been to other pixel parties where we're seeing that, or where bots take over. But at the same token, I wanted to mention that guy that had the make the world a better place.eth. He was using a bot, and he came on and chatted about it and said, hey, I'm actually using a bot, but here's why I'm using it, and here's what's happening with it. And throughout like the 4 hours that we were painting, his bot was changing the colors. So as you go through the fast forward, or like when you fast forward and play the time lapse, his artwork actually changes color in like a rainbow fashion. So this way I'm like, hey, that's really cool. That's awesome engagement. I don't want to blacklist that wallet, but I want these people to be like, hey, this is what I'm doing ahead of time. This is my wallet. And like, we could almost whitelist bots as compared to like blacklisting them, if that makes sense. Maybe that's how it needed to go. Or maybe this isn't an issue, but I just wanted to hear that from the community and their thoughts and ideas around that.
Well, I just want to thank you, Tangle, for like your diligence in trying to protect what people's creative expression is on there. I don't have a strong opinion on whether we should be banning bots or not. Yeah, who's that? QI, can you please mute your mic? You're giving us a lot of feedback. Chi-Chi?
Yeah.
Chi-Chi.
I just muted them, unfortunately.
Okay, so let's just move on to the proposals section. Didn't seem like maybe people from the last Pixel Party weren't participating.
Yeah, and that's okay.
Right
Just
now.
like I say, just talk about it, reach out to me, whatever, think on it. No rush, doesn't need to be dealt with today, but just something that I'm trying to be mindful of, and I want to accommodate everyone throughout all this. So please reach out to me if you got ideas or thoughts on this, or have experience from other parties. But we're doing our best to try and make this awesome.
Hey, Albert Flyer or maybe it's Beijing. I don't know. There's so many people activating at the same
It's
time.
Albert Flyer, I'm pretty sure. And Beijing just picks it up. So
Okay, perfect. So for the noteworthy proposals this week, the main proposal I saw that seemed like it has traction is the token swap proposal from OlympusDAO. So I'll just read out a little bit. He says, "Chefs, I've proposed a DAO swap with Olympus on the Sushi Forum. I think Olympus should have more sushi, and sushi should be 3-3. Looking forward to strengthening our relationships as protocols and communities." Zeus, I don't know if you want to, give a sort of a proposal for this, or if you would rather us just wing it. I do see you hanging out in here.
Yeah, sure. I'm happy to talk about it a little. So we consider Sushi a pretty important partner. I think that you guys have been great to us since we launched a while ago. We still do only have one pool on Sushi, but we do intend to launch like many more. So one of our internal goals is that is one of the de facto counter pairs for liquidity pools in DeFi and on Ethereum especially. And we want to build that out on Sushi. We really view a token swap as one, it kind of furthers our goal, which we are very focused on just bringing assets into our treasury, and so it's a good manner to do so. It also kind of should produce a more mutualistic diversification event where you guys have exposure and ownership of Ohm as well, and you guys can kind of take a role in our governance through the governance power that S-Home holds. I know, especially the reason that because we're likely to use this as kind of a template for doing more of these swaps. So we were kind of inspired by the Phantom Trope proposal and the fact that there does seem to be a demand in this community for treasury diversification. So we view ourselves as a great counterparty to do a diversification event with. So we're happy to do a lockup, and we're also just Olympus is a collective of a lot of different holders. So in terms of centralization of supply ownership or any concern like that, I feel like we should be lower on that list of concerns. There's other levels that so one, we would like to probably create a liquidity pool with the sushi holdings that this would provide us, plus the sushi that we already hold. And so this provides us with an opportunity to kind of bootstrap that quickly, and then extend that in the future. So this is tentative, and I can't say that it'll actually work like this, but there's a possibility that Ohm is used in the future to direct the capital that we take in from bonds, so the diversification and allocations of those. So this would benefit Sushi because you guys would have a say in those votes and be able to point more and more capacity to yourselves. We have the benefit of, if you guys move to the OSushi model, we have OSushi governance power to direct Onsen rewards to our own pools. Which seems like the intent there. We would likely want to take on more exposure beyond this in those endeavors. Really just with the overarching goal that we want to be this major liquidity provider and liquidity director in the DeFi ecosystem, and this seems like a great move in that direction. Plus, just an extra level of incentive alignment and coordination between our communities and projects.
So
hopefully.
Yeah, no, that was great. I something I wanted to ask you about was in the post I think you expressed sort of apprehension with doing like a self-funding method on Olympus, like similar to how you have the Ethereum sort of bonds, I guess is what they're called. I think. So you said that you have the apprehension of doing that with Sushi because of an appearance of it being like a vampire attack. I guess could you try to like explain that a little bit more, just so I could understand what you were trying to get at there?
So I think that was XH3 who jumped in with that. Our concern there was with kind of if we just did it out of the blue, that it might seem a little antagonistic, possibly. Which we do. We certainly don't want, and there's certainly ways that we can mitigate that. I don't think that the premise of sushi bonds is like off the table in the least. But I do think that it would take longer than we would like to accumulate this level of exposure through those means. So, like for example, we launched the ETH bonds a month ago, and we have I think $1.3 million worth today, which is on the way. But 3.3 million. If we were doing it at that pace, it would take 3 months, or maybe a little bit less. So I see it as something that we would likely do, but as a additional level of accumulation, like the goal here would be that we can take a bunch of sushi immediately and create a pool with it, and kind of get that up and running relatively quickly, and then we can build on top of that pool perpetually. So they're not really exclusive.
Gotcha. And I mean, okay, so I'm just gonna say this. I love Olympus, just to be clear. I'm 3-3 currently. Oh my god, who is my brain? I'm losing my mind. It's static. Okay. One sore part in this deal is just I'm trying to figure out how to price this stuff, because right now it's like and I don't disagree with the 30-day moving average, calculation to the price, but right now it's pricing Ohm at over market value and Sushi at under market value. Which, I mean, I love Ohm. I also love Sushi. It feels like a little bit, I don't know. But yeah, I'm trying to come up with ways to price it, and it's tough to come up with any, because no matter what sort of moving average price or, whatever you use, there's going to be difference between the current market price and that average.
So we actually were considering proposing a discount on our end. We didn't do that because we don't want it to come off like we're trying to I saw somewhere someone being like fleecing them. We don't want to even like give that intent or impression, and so like the 30-day moving average, just like kind seemed like the best way to go. The reason that even if we might be a little below and you guys are a little above, it should still be favorable, is and if you guys want to press this as a condition, I think that should be fine. But like willingness to add liquidity. So if we do that, we're going to put an additional $3.3 million worth of Ohm up as like the counter side of that liquidity pool, and so our cost will actually be double. And then if we follow on with sushi bonds and accumulate more sushi on top of that, then that's additional capital that we're expending. That's kind of beyond the scope of the deal. But that is kind of additional cost that like adds to our whatever bottom line. And so like I don't know, does that make sense as an explanation? That
yeah, could you expand on what you mean by the additional liquidity? Because I thought it was we're just swapping Sushi for Ohm, and then we would both hold it in our respective treasuries. But how
Yeah,
does?
so we,
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
no, my bad. So what we would most likely like to do, and so I added this in the follow up comment, is that we're fine with a lockup, but as a caveat, we would like the ability to add liquidity, and that should go both ways. So if you guys want to do the same, please do. But we would take the 3.3 million worth of sushi from this deal plus the like $700,000 that we currently hold. And then create a liquidity pool with it. So we would take that 4 million worth of sushi and then add an additional 4 million worth of ohm. So that's an additional 4 million in cost for us. And then you guys get the benefit of that as well. So there's now an additional $4 million worth of sushi liquidity in the market that sushi holders are able to utilize. Which effectively like doubles our cost though, because that. If you understand how AMM pools work, that $4 million is now exposed to the sushi market.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I got you. It's totally open. Sorry, I'm just going to remind everybody this is totally open forum. So if anybody has any questions or wants to say anything, feel totally free to speak up or raise your voice hand.
Yeah, really keen to hear people's thoughts. It seems like positive reception on the forum. It's always tricky to use that as a real measurement of sentiment. So would love to hear from you guys.
Wow, everybody's so nervous. I mean, I'm super positive on this. I think token swaps between DAOs are extraordinarily beneficial to both parties involved. As there's obviously some you could like theorize a situation where it's not, but it's on the fringes.
Yeah, I really hope that everyone can tell that we are at least coming from the right place and have no intent of this being anything except mutually beneficial. And if anything stands out as not being so, that we're happy to talk about it and address it.
Yeah, I think with the past history and just your guys' transparency and just openness and kind of looking to collaborate, essentially, I think that just brings good faith in all this, and it seems like a reasonable deal.
I have a question, if that's all right.
Yeah, go ahead.
I would be curious of what the sushi team would do with the ohm. Like, as we all know, 3.3 is kind of the model. Would sushi plan to stake?
Yeah, so our expectation would definitely be that you guys stake it. Definitely leaving money on the table if you don't. Yeah, so our expectation would be that it's staked, and then remains held in the multi-sig or wherever that ends up, for the or for at least the predetermined vesting period or lockup period. And if that you guys are free to utilize it for governance, whatever that ends up looking like, just because we're batting around a couple of different ways that my expectation is if we roll out some of the stuff that we're talking about, and I'm sorry that I'm being vague, that you guys will be very happy to hold that and that you're free to utilize it. But I just add, and this should be on both sides, that it's not used for like leveraging against or things where you're at liquidation risk.
Oh man, I was
I
hoping
don't
we were
think
gonna
that-
go like 3x leverage on Rary.
Yeah. Both sides just degen leverage their holdings.
Yeah, we both get liquidated.
As a token random community member, I'd like to voice support of this.
Let's go.
I guess as someone who's not as knowledgeable, I mean, you're being a little vague on what the future plans are about your protocol. What I see sushi is something with just so many. We're branching out in so many directions. There's so many things on deck. What is some of the roadmap future plans that you could share with us that we can expect a similar level of appreciation based off of expansion as we would find with sushi?
That's a question for me.
Yeah.
With regard to Ohm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, one of the big things that we're pushing for is to kind of provide like liquidity launchpad services for other projects where we're very focused on building liquidity in our own market. That's a focus for a lot of projects in their own, and we can kind of team up and collaborate with projects in that regard, both from our own treasury and through projects like Tokamak. And so with the intent of getting other projects to pair with Ohm for their own liquidity, which is good for them in if we can help them build liquidity, it's also good for us in putting Ohm into kind of like a reserve currency position where you're using it to buy other assets. And so one that should accrue a lot of value to our own ecosystem because all volume on those tokens and all demand for those tokens routes through our own. And then that's also good for sushi because we we intend to build all those flows on sushi.
So Zeus, you're not going to tell us what Olympus Pro is?
Dude, I'm gonna get murdered if I say anything about it.
It was worth a try.
Yeah, Josh's gonna come after me.
Mackie, are you still there? Or are you possibly AFK?
Sorry, I was at the bathroom.
Oh yeah, no worries. I was just curious because this was brought up. I don't know, maybe like 10 minutes ago. There was a question about like what Sushi's intention for the Ohm would be in the Olympus swap.
Personally, I would like since Phantom Troop like treasury talks are kind of off the table for me, so really would be up to the community to decide what they want to do with it. I think like the treasury is not really like the team say, but if there's way to earn yield on it, if there's way to I don't know supply a Kashi market or supply more liquidity for on Sushi Swap, I think that would be ideal. Like just making sure everything is efficient and so on. Right now, I think the treasury is not at all optimized. I think we should put a bunch of it, in the new Yarn Vault. But it's kind of I don't want to get too much into treasury talks. I think overall, like community can decide for it if we do any sort of token swap, not just for OlympusDAO.
Gotcha, that makes a lot of sense. And yeah, also the putting the Ohm and or the S Ohm into the. I mean, I guess we might be like the only S Ohm market if we're putting S Ohm into Kashi. It might be okay. Still something we could do to sort of support the liquidity in Kashi.
Yeah, so I mean, this is kind of an aside, but it would be great if you. I do know that there's intent to spin up a Kashi market for SHOM now that we have a Chainlink feed. It'd be fantastic if you guys want to seed that with Ohm from this and add a borrow ability. Because we have fuse pools currently. They don't allow you to borrow SHOM. We're a little tentative about enabling it just because of how much SHOM is already available in there, and so that could present a good like fresh start opportunity to introduce borrows, and that would allow you guys to like earn a little bit of additional yield. given that there is borrow demand.
Yeah, I mean, I'm entirely for that, and I actually didn't realize that Ohm was added to Chainlink feeds so recently. So that's excellent.
Does SOM rebase as well? I know there was recently on Cream Finance an exploit based off of what's that other algorithmic rebasing one, that first
Full
one.
force?
Ample.
Ample, there we go. So would would it be possibly a target of the same exploit from an unknowledgeable person?
So I'm not super familiar with what happened there. I do think that I heard about it. Certainly don't want that to happen. That one way that can be addressed. We do have like a wrap token that makes it a static balance that increases in redemption value. So it could be better suited for that. And then it'll work like any standard ERC20.
Just on the Cream hack, it was AMP, not Amplefort. It was a different token, I believe.
Oh, it was AMP. Oh no,
Yeah, it wasn't a rebase token.
that's rough for them.
I didn't leak Olympus Pro. Don't worry.
Leak it now.
I guess how'd you come up with the 3 million figure? What are the ranges that you guys are seeking in terms of swap other than that notional value?
So our focus is, because we have 700,000 or so already. We want to have enough that if we deploy a liquidity pool, it's sizable enough to get some level of utilization. So we kind of pinpointed $7.5 or $8 million as that threshold.
Okay, well, I mean, like, I feel like that there's like very strong community sentiment towards this proposal happening, and B, like basically the next steps should be a snapshot proposal that we push to the community.
I guess it was touched on vaguely that there should be vesting periods. Did you have any input on that subject?
Yeah, so I followed up to the proposal with a proposed 18 months. We're happy to do like 2 years, though, if you guys want to do that instead.
I don't know. I actually lean towards like something like 6 months, but that's just me. I don't know.
Yeah, so I mean, we're pretty flexible.
Could either add that to a poll in the forum, or again just right onto the snapshot as we when we formally vote for it.
Yeah, we'll add it. We'll add the poll for the vesting potentially.
All right. Well, does anybody have any further questions or concerns or criticisms or anything related to the OlympusDAO proposal?
I asked the question earlier, but just want to say I'm in favor of it too, as a member of both communities. Thanks, Zeus, for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for letting me speak, guys.
Yeah, no problem. I really appreciate you coming out and talking with us. So what do we think the timeline is going to be for the snapshot? Like, because with this type of stuff, I like when it keeps moving. When it starts to like stall out, that's when I get worried, and it like turns into a multi-month endeavor.
So my expectation is that that's not the case. We do need to confirm with our own community. So 2 weeks ago or something, we proposed that we can pursue these swaps. Community was in favor. We now need to, we need to confirm each one. So our goal has been to confirm terms with you guys, take that to our own community, get that, get the thumbs up on that, and then we can either do that in parallel or a little bit before the official vote on this end. So do you guys think that the current form minus the vesting is good to go?
I mean, I hesitate with any swap that doesn't have any small amount of vesting. Maybe it's not a real concern and it's sort of pedantic. But like
Sure.
even if it was like a month of vesting or 2 months of vesting, it would make me feel better.
No, so to clarify, I mean not minus the vesting, but minus the exact number.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah. I think these terms are, acceptable in my opinion. It's pretty fair. I mean, there is, in the, and this is my opinion to be clear, in the degree of fairness, we did sort of get a little bit screwed just in Sushi's own price action. So it's like there's nobody to blame for that. It's just the price action and how the moving averages work out. But it's not a huge trade either. It's not like we're doing like $100 million of notional value. That would be different.
Mm-hmm. Does the liquidity edition piece address that reasonably, do you think? Putting an additional several $1 million worth of like add exposure.
Oh yeah, that is definitely a plus. That Olympus is one of the top sort of token pairs and liquidity pools on Sushi. It's further contributing to that is it's definitely a plus that I'm thinking about.
I think if you look at our 90-day price trend, it doesn't look super great either. For Olympus, I mean.
It's kind of a result of the tokenomics and the fact that price is only one piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the market cap chart on 90-day looks quite pretty, in my opinion, for Olympus.
He thinks the chart is pretty. GMI.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'm very happy with. Oh no, I just lost the page. Oh, there it is. I'm really happy with everything I heard today. So yeah, I guess you guys just got to sort of communicate with the Olympus community and get just sort of a green light from them, and then we can go ahead with the snapshot, or however you guys want to handle that. But either way, we need both communities to agree.
Absolutely. Okay, I'll get some gears turning on our community's end.
Yeah, and once you
hopefully-
guys have some sort of resolution on your end, yeah, again, just we can post it in each other's forums and just keep that conversation flowing over there. And if that sentiment's all looking good, then yeah, move on to a snapshot. And that could be, I don't know, what are we thinking, like within the next couple of weeks type thing?
Hopefully within 2 weeks is what I would hope for.
Yeah, that sounds good. We're good to move at you guys' pace. We should be. I would imagine we can wrap everything up in our community within the next week.
Cool.
And then maybe the following we can be doing snapshots.
Sounds good.
Cool. Awesome. Well, so just again, I just want to thank you for coming out, man. I really appreciate you. I know. I mean, you freaking run an entire community, so I appreciate your time. And to everybody else who's hanging out at the Sushi Forum, now is a good time. If you have any last topics you want to bring up to discuss, any questions you have, like, on anything, or if you've got a joke that you've been working on and you wanted to share it, heard a good riddle, now is the time. No pressure.
Just wanted to say thanks, Zeus, for coming in and kind of presenting your proposal.
Happy to. Thank you guys.
Yeah, and I just wanted to mention as well, anybody that has questions, comments, concerns about the upcoming Pixel Party on the 7th, please let me know. I did get one message in regards to perhaps whitelisting bots ahead of time. So if somebody has a bot, perhaps just reach out, say, hey, I'm looking to use a bot. Here's the intention with it. Here's the wallet behind it. And, whitelist it that way. And then we know that it's not necessarily going to stop bots, but it's going to perhaps ahead of time disincentivize people from using bots and just have human interaction, because you won't be able to get the NFT to your wallet, and maybe that's a concern for some people, maybe it isn't, but we just want to make it fair and make it awesome. And I just want to try and look out for any issues ahead of time going into this, as so many people felt disappointed with the end result of last one. But it was a beautiful art piece, and I want to be able to offer it to anybody who was that was one other thing too. If you have the happy birthday POAP, so basically if you joined the server before the first POAP Pixel Party, you will be eligible for both NFTs. But if you joined the server after the Pixel Party, you'll only be eligible for one. And that was some concern that I'd heard from some community members, and I think that that's a very valid way of putting it.
Awesome. So I don't even have to attend the second Pixel Party and I'll get it?
Maybe we should think about that. I don't know. I'm not sure what... At first it was anybody that placed 100 pixels between the two parties. You in either one, you would get it, just to keep it fair and even. Yeah. Maybe we should think about that. Maybe even... Oh man, this is getting so gamified. We'll maybe
we do 4 total pixel parties, and then we put them all together in a canvas, and then drop that as an NFT to everybody who dropped 100 pixels among all 4 pixel parties. Because if we don't, you can't do it with 2, because it's not a perfect square.
Yeah. We could put I don't know, or we just make we'll see. Things are getting crazy. But anyways, if anybody has comments on that, please reach out or chat about it in in the general chat about it, or DM me if you've got ideas. Happy to hear it, think about it, and make sure that we have it fair for everybody in this community and other communities that will be joining us with this Pixel Party. Super success last time, blew me away, couldn't believe it, and we'll try and do a call during it as well. Just do like whatever, kind of like we did last time for those who were a part of it. Just come in, listen to some tunes, have a few people chat, tell stories, do whatever, and go that way.
Awesome. And that is, just to clarify again, it is tomorrow at
No, tomorrow is
No,
the
not tomorrow.
OlympusDAO AMA, and then followed by their community night, community appreciation night. Just to confirm again, I think with Zeus and Jaws, I think was in here. That yeah, it is at 2100 UTC.
Yeah, it is.
Perfect. So yeah, everybody, let's hop over there at 2100 and check things out tomorrow. And then the POAP Pixel Party is on September 7th between sometime, but we're not sure exact start date time, but between 5 and 10 p.m. CST HKT. So catering to Asia time zone hours in that respect.
Gotcha. All right, awesome. Well, I think this is a good place to wrap up this week's Sushi Forum. Oh yeah, hold on. I see one question. Since this is the time for any kind of question, is there any ETA for Avax rewards on Sushi's Avalanche deployment? No, I think Mackie dropped out. It's okay. Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. Wham.
Yeah, I'm not 100% on the exact time date, but soon TM. It's on its way. So yeah, stay tuned. We'll keep we'll try and get some announcements put out once that goes live and a little more openness about there, because now Avalanche is live, and we've got even saw some stuff with Arbitrum, all this happening. I see Phantom's got a $370 million liquidity mining program going on. Moon River just went live as well. We've got CeeLo. There's all kinds of things happening. So we'll try and keep everyone as informed as we can in regards to all the launching and the liquidity and all this kind of stuff. Unfortunately, I don't have exact times and date on that right now.
Yep. Okay. Awesome. Thank you everybody for coming out. This has been a great. Oh yeah.
Should we talk about the proposal that talked about optimizing the liquidity allocation on Sushi? I think the proposer is actually online here on this launch.
Yeah. So I guess let me ask you about it, Pegbit. Sorry, am I talking to Pegbit? I think I am.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, Pegbit. It doesn't. It looks like analysis to me. It doesn't look like applicable product, because they basically look at the pools and look at the trading between different tokens on Sushi, and they come up with the analysis that if liquidity was concentrated into ETH pairs, then the trades would be more efficient. However, all the LP positions on Sushi are self-custodied, so it doesn't really, and it doesn't really do anything to talk about where we could theoretically concentrate liquidity to have more optimal trades, because at the end of the day, people are just gonna. It does matter if we are manually adjusting the incentives for each different pair, the emission rate for pools. But since we as a community have voted in sort of the direction of going towards having O Sushi and X Sushi, where O Sushi is the sort of decentralized governance of the emissions, it just feels like it's academic analysis versus any sort of product, and I'm sort of just confused as to what the intention is of their analysis.
From what I read, I feel like it was to make a product after this is pretty much a primary analysis, like you said. But I think the intention is to actually come to something that is usable.
Yeah, so I'm actually one of the proposers on it. I didn't prepare anything to speak. I didn't realize we were going to talk about it here.
Oh, awesome. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, no problem. But I did want to like sit in and just like see how how forum meetings go and like get a feel for like the governance process. And it's been great listening in so far. But just to, like, answer some of the things you did say, we did start from like an academic perspective. Like when we were initially starting the research, like it was more of like we have this idea to build an optimization algorithm for liquidity allocation. Like let's take this new approach to do so, and let's write a research paper about it. And then like we just started exploring some ideas for different mechanisms to actually implement it. And I guess that's like what the proposal is kind of about. It's like, how can we, well, it's two stages basically. It's like, how can we, one, really get this algorithm in a place that it needs to be, where we can make very informed decisions about like what the best allocation of liquidity would be. So like one of the things is like right now we're testing on a day's worth of data. Like we should really scale that up to a week's worth of data. And we should run a test set that's even longer, and we should find a way to do it repeatedly, so you can like gauge how, when volume and different trading tendencies change, that we should change certain liquidity allocations. And so you also mentioned something that like it is a decision of liquidity providers, which is really true. And so like there's only so much you can really do to reallocate liquidity in a decentralized way. But we were talking about different mechanisms, and like one of the person I work with has a strong background in algorithmic game theory. So we've been talking about like what kind of mechanisms can we design that can accomplish the reallocation of liquidity in a decentralized way. And we have like a few ideas for that. And we also want to just like build upon it. Like really there could be more creative solutions, like maybe finding a side chain or something like that and running the algorithm on something that's really fast there, so that the actual computation is decentralized, and like find a way to bring it on chain, maybe like use an oracle or something, whatever it is. Like whether it's like providing liquidity incentives and bonuses or whatever. I do think that there's some interesting mechanisms that could be talked about, and like that's kind of like what we want to have funded, is like how can we get the algorithm to a point that it could support implementation, and B, what would be the best way to actually implement the findings and kind of like improve liquidity allocation. And I know you mentioned something about ETH pairs as well. So we actually found that when gas fees are low, so like when gas fees are close to zero, that like the optimal allocation does tend to be like some form of concentration on ETH pairs. But when gas fees are really high, that's actually not the case. And like there tends to be more liquidity pools, because like the cost of having to route a trade between two different pools increases. And so like we do see that like when gas fees change, that the structure that should be incentivized changes. So like I know Sushi has like a very strong mentality that we should let the market decide which like for different layer 2 and scaling solutions and on the Ethereum main chain, like you guys kind of deploy on a bunch of different chains, and you kind of like let people go where they think they should be spending their liquidity on. And so like being able to see what different incentives should be provided for different chains is also something that like we've been exploring and looking into. But yeah.
Have you looked at the Tines system that's going to be in with Trident?
No, I've not.
It might like in effect solve the inefficiency problem that you guys are looking at, because what it basically allows is instead of just multi-hop trades where say you're swapping from ETH to USDT to BTC or some other ERC20, it will go 50% ETH to USDT to shitcoin A, and 50% ETH to shitcoin C to shitcoin A, to get the higher efficiency on the trade due to slippage.
So is that kind of like what I think 1inch does something like that, right? Where they'll like hedge, like they'll split transactions into two transactions.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I would say that wouldn't be fixing the same problem, but it would like it would be complementary to like any algorithm. For example, like one thing then the algorithm would take into account if you're splitting different, you're splitting liquidity between multiple, or you're splitting transactions into multiple liquidity pools. That's like one more thing to consider in like the actual optimization. But they're getting at similar problems, right? Both are trying to reduce the price slippage that traders are paying, but they're doing so in complementary methods.
And just alongside that, with the Bentobox, like with us utilizing, having gas efficiencies with having trading within the, or swapping within the Bentobox, is that something you guys have brought in as well or looked at?
We've only focused on the DEX right now, but we have like masters in financial engineering we've been talking to, and like some other PhD students who we want to bring onto the team and kind of just like take this whole like sushi research to another level. Like right now, it's just been me and my partner over the summer just kind of building this algorithm. And so like these are all things that I think if we end up going through this proposal, I think it'd be awesome to hear also like what y'all want to see us do, and kind of like help us set the direction, kind of like what pressure points should we look at and start tackling. Like we've been talking a lot about like alternative mechanisms to concentrated liquidity, and we've also been talking about like we have an idea for like stochastic modeling of impermanent loss. And so those are two things that we kind of like hope to start tackling as well, so we could get a better picture of like what we could do to optimize different parts of like the AMMs and swaps that go into sushi. But yeah, I think that was a good point to bring up as well.
Hey, Elijah. I know we had talked a little bit on the forum about this, so I'm glad you brought it up. But I was wondering, did you put a full proposal on the forum, or was it like, did we do a poll of any sort to see what kind of interest folks have on this? I can't remember, and I don't have the forum up in front of me right at the moment.
No, there's no poll.
Yeah, I wasn't able to make a poll at the time of posting. I think I needed like a minimum score or something.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool to get some sort of a gauge as to what people feel about this.
Yeah, one of us can go on there and put a poll on. Just try and do that. I can try and do that after we finish up. But yeah, I think I'd also be curious to hear, if you guys look into how Trident's going to help us along with the utilization of the Bentobox, and see how that can be leveraged as well with what you guys are looking at, just to bring those two elements that are going to be coming in and are going, we're kind of designed to help with a lot of, quote unquote inefficiencies. So if you can have just kind of bring those into your assessment as well. I'd love to hear more about it from that angle, as that's, going to be a new move for us, and yeah, could be beneficial on all fronts.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, awesome. And so basically what I would say is keep looking into it, and you're engaging with the community, sort of figuring out the sort of product fit for the research that you guys are doing, and then like sort of come back on next week, and we can continue the discussion and try to figure it out. Because I don't want to discourage you, because I think, you guys sound really smart, and I'd like you guys to contribute and be part of the sushi project. But right now, I just feel like we need a little bit more clarity on some of that, on some of the like the deliverables section.
Yeah, sounds good. Also, if like you have any specifics or notes for what's already posted, like this was my first governance proposal. Like I've been doing independent research up to now, so like if you have any tips or notes or whatever, just feel free to DM me, and Yeah, that'd be awesome. Happy to learn.
Awesome. Will do. All right, awesome. I think this is the place to call the Sushi Forum, unless anybody has a objection. All right, there we go. Sold it. Thank you, everybody, for coming out to the Sushi Forum this week. Next week, we will be here, same time, same place, 9 p.m. UTC on Thursdays. Oh, this is something I wanted to talk about. So I will be taking a 2-week hiatus leave break because I desperately feel like I need a vacation. So Tangle and Orion will be basically taking over for 2 weeks, and then I'll be coming back. I love the Sushi Forum. I love all this. I feel really bad taking a break, honestly, but I also feel like I need to at this point. So I'm going to do that. And yeah, I just wanted to inform everybody and let them know. Thank you, Tangle and Orion, so much.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to be,
Very welcome.
I'll be remote next week as well. So I've just picked up a new mic and a new laptop because I've been meaning to do it for some time. So I've got, I will be able to do some cool stuff while I'm remote. So looking forward to trying that thing out right away. And yeah, should be sweet. Should be sweet. But yeah, looking forward to next week as well. If you're, yeah, and feel free to, wow, yeah, you'll have the YouTube and everything up. But yeah, have a good time just chilling, relaxing, doing your thing, or wherever you're headed or whatever you got going. But enjoy. Crypto can be a lot sometimes, and life in general.
Yeah, life's a wild trip. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out. I appreciate you. And yeah, we'll catch you next time.
Thanks,
Stay safe.
Turtle. And everybody that's been in the room for 10 minutes or 15 minutes or more, you will be eligible for a POAP, and that'll be posted soon. So give it like half an hour before going in there. I didn't close the POAP channel, so please don't go in there yet because it won't be available. Hope we didn't break it, but I'll maybe stop it just till then, till it's available. Give it 20, 30 minutes and we'll go from there. Talk to you later, everyone.
Have an amazing vacation, Mr. Turtle. You so deserve it.
Thanks, buddy.